You are watching the Neuro-Affirming Conversation Hour for outreach and support. The Humanities 101 Foundation welcomes you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Nacho Nuts. Wherever you're joining us, welcome. This week, we pause. Not abruptly, not as a disruption, but as a choice. A gentle, intentional step back from the rhythm we've been keeping together. And there's a kind of quiet courage in this, in noticing when the moment asks something different of us, in recognizing that staying present sometimes means not pushing forward in the usual way. And it brings me to this line from Albert Einstein. He who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. There's something deeply human in that idea. That pause is not absence. It's awareness. It's a moment where we stop moving long enough to actually see where we are, to feel what is happening, to recognize the weight and the meaning of the work we are doing and the lives that we are living. So Nacho Knots, this week is full in the way that reflects growth, full in the way that reflects opportunity, full in the way that asks us to be present, not just productive. And so instead of our usual Nachos episode, we're going to honor that fullness by creating space for it. We're going to practice what we talk about: predictability, balance, joy. Because balance is not always about doing less or doing more. Sometimes it's about doing what matters, but doing it fully. This week, that energy is going into several meaningful spaces. On Tuesday at 1 p.m., I'll be taking stage at the University of Michigan's North Campus Research Complex for the Beautiful Minds Conference. That keynote will become our kind of Nachos foundation for this week. On Wednesday, I'll be at the state capitol in Lansing with Self Advocates of Michigan, continuing this work in a different kind of space. And in between, I'm going to be sitting as a judge for senior exit interviews at a local school district, listening to young people as they share their stories, their growth, and their goals. So it's a full week, but it's also a meaningful one. But I want to be very clear about something. Just because I'm not talking at you this week doesn't mean that I will not speak with you. So if you're working on a final project or have a question, and I know that many of you do, please feel free to email me with those questions, those ideas, or even just to check in. You're not on your own in this. You do have support. And support does not disappear because the format shifts. Sometimes support looks like a video. Sometimes it looks like a conversation, and I'm here for both. So this week we pause, not because we're stepping away from the work, but because we're stepping into it more fully, into wonder, into presence, into the moments that matter. So again, if you are able to join us in any way this week, I would love to have you there. And if not, carry these with you. You're allowed to pause, as I am allowed to pause. I'm allowed to choose where my energy goes as you are allowed to choose where your energy goes. You're allowed to be present for what matters, and I am allowed to be present for what matters. So with that in mind, we will return next week. Until then, stay grounded, stay gentle with yourself. Predictability, balance, and joy. They're not just ideas. They are a way of being.
Thank you for joining us. See you next week. The views and opinions expressed in this video are solely those of the creator and do not reflect the views of any institution, employer, or affiliated organization.